Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. Hope you're doing okay. And we are here. We are back for the 5th week at war. Now, that is 5 weeks at war, and it has changed. The war has not really changed, but you know, a lot in the space of 5 weeks has changed. The geopolitical south of Eve has changed drastically, and we're going to be looking at the geography changes more than anything in this. There hasn't been many big fights during this week. It's the fighting has kind of fizzled out to small skirmishes here and there. You know, the odd Ferox fleet there, the odd battleship fleet there. There's no like 100 billion plus fights going on that often anymore, which is a shame to start with. But we are at the point of the war now where both guys are, groups are looking across at each other from the regionals, and it feels like it's you make the move, you make the move. Which, if I'm honest, I think it should be us that makes the move, obviously, because we started this war, so we should be, you know, pushing in there sometime soon, maybe soon.tm, I don't know. But guys, if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel to start with. Hope you're happy with the videos, hope you enjoy them. If you are relatively like brand new to the channel, if you wanted to see more videos like this and then some more Eve videos in general, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. A like on the channel would always be nice, and if you didn't enjoy it by the end of the video, you can always take that like back. But I'd like to keep it as it helps the YouTube algorithm. Also, let me know your thoughts on these on this war, how it's gone this week, any notable changes that you're happy about, any you're not happy about. Always like to see your comments, and I do respond to 99% of them, with the occasional one that I might miss, or you know, it's just a mouth breather, being, you know, spewing out copium from something somewhere, so I just tend to ignore those people. But let's dive into this, guys. Let's get right into this. So first thing I want to look at, let me have a look, is SOV changes, as you can see on the screen here. Let's just zoom in a little bit. It gets a bit pixelated when you zoom in this much, but so here we have how much SOV in the last 7 days. So that covers the week's update, which is actually quite nice. I love .lam. And you can see in the last 7 days, Goonswarm have gained 212 systems. So we've gained 212 SOV systems. Now, most of this is us consolidating around here. So as you can see, XIX, Legion of X-Death, they have given up Deturrid, as that's where we're going to be living. They are gaining SOV Inquarius, and yeah, they're gaining SOV Inquarius, as they are now finishing their move out of the area. We have only fleets. They are giving up their SOV in Tenerifis, and Deturrid as well. They're giving up that to us, and that's all been transferred over, and they are gaining SOV Inquarius as well, which we kind of expected that to happen. Dracaris, they've given up, they've lost their SOV in Delve, Aquarius, not period basis yet, but I suspect that's coming. So Delve and Aquarius, they've lost their SOV in there, purely down to we're not even fighting for it anymore. Whoever takes it, takes it. Brave Collective, they have taken, they've lost their SOV in Delve, Aquarius, any systems had Aquarius as well as Delve. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure now, we're not fighting for that space anymore. We're not even contesting timers anymore. If it is, it's probably just to stop, I think, Horde and Fraternity taking SOV. But I don't know, personally. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been keeping as close an eye on Delve and Aquarius as I would have liked to. So Siege Green as well, they had 39 systems in Deturrid, and Wicked Creek. So we have taken over those systems. So there was a deal struck with the Diplos between their alliance and our alliance. An agreement came to whatever that agreement was. I don't know the speculation on how how well they got paid to move. Some people got think that they got told move or we'll evict you. But there was from my understanding, from what I've heard and been told, from multiple areas there was a very, very heavily monetary incentive to move. Like, I think they got thrown a ridiculous amount of money at them to move, which, again, some might say, no, you can pay us, but we're not moving. But I think for them, let's be honest, it was either take that money or lose everything. And I believe we bought all their structures off them as well. So they didn't lose their structures. We bought them, which obviously gave them money to buy new ones to set up over in Aquarius. But I am 99% sure, just to, try and be non-biased, I'm pretty sure that it was either, take this money or we're going to take it by force sort of thing. But I don't know what the deals were, so I can't say for sure what they were, but that's probably what they were. Hype Train, they did have Sov in Wicked Creek, Scalding Pass. They lost that. They're taking a couple systems in Aquarius as well. And they've lost those systems in Aquarius. I don't know what's going on with those guys. But there's a lot of brawling going on around Delve now, and there's a lot of, you got Synergy Synergy and friends have moved from the north down here. There's Init have taken this area just because they didn't want Horde and Fraternity to take it because they were trying. I think that's what guys in Init had told me. They didn't want Horde and Fraternity taking these systems. So that's what's happened in Delve. Aquarius again. I think Aquarius is still burning. So you've still got IGC Sov, which, again, there's going to be no one contesting it. Brave have still got some Sov. Again, they're not contesting it. So you got wrong. Is that wrong? What could possibly go wrong? They've moved. Oh, God. They've moved in. Lorne Sov is going to be burnt down soon. Init have got theirs. XIX have got theirs. And, yeah, I think, as far as I'm aware, that covers the Sov changes this week. And Goonswarm have gained all of the Turrid, started getting systems in cash, which we're going to have a look at in a second. Tenerife, Scalding Pass, Wicked Creek, the Turrid. So all those close, geographically close systems on the in-game map, that's where we've gained space, because we wanted to keep it like the drone lands. We want to try and keep our space as clustered and close together because it's just makes life easier. So I don't know. I don't know as for the other regions. I believe period basis is going to be dropped by Dracarys, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't spoken to anyone in Dracarys yet. Maybe that's someone that I need to do an interview with and have a chat with. Paragon Soul, again, I don't know. I don't know if they're who's in there at the minute. Sigma, I don't know. I think they've been given space somewhere else. I have seen the new map for our alliance, who's moving where, but I'm kind of not going to release that for obvious reasons. But I've seen who goes where, and I can't remember off the top of my head. So, daily soft maps. Let's have a look at this because it's quite important. So this is as it stands now. You've got the Imperium down here. Obviously, that's going to probably be gone, which is period basis. That's going to be gone. The last bit Aquarius is going to be gone as well. Then you've got neutral states, which are next to Stain. I don't know what's going on with Boss Alliance. If I'm honest, I don't know. I've heard they're moving. I've heard they're not. So I'm waiting to see what's going on with those guys. We've got a couple of systems in cash that we're taking over, but again, we're going to come back to that. But as we are a huge coalition, we have taken a lot of space. Granted, we need a lot. The problem is with Equinox, it doesn't encourage you to build tall anymore, and that's what we did in Delve. We had all these people here, all this space we had crammed into Delve, Aquarius, period basis. So we had this corner here. So we had this little corner here, which was not a lot of systems in the grand scheme of things. But now that we've spread out, like Panda Fam up here, Winter Coalition up here, it's starting to look a bit more healthier on the soft side of things. We've got once we've trimmed off what we're not keeping, what we're giving to people in probably in a week or two, it'll be interesting to see where our actual SOV lies now, like where our space is going to be, because obviously there's still stuff moving, people moving out, stuff. You know, I think there's over the next week I think next week or two this will probably look a little bit different, but we'll come back to have a look at that just to see if I was right or wrong. Goonswarm Federation. So we have here, that is our alliance, ourself. And then obviously you've got Imperium members down here. That's what I mean. I still think this is going to be given up, and Dracarys are going somewhere else. I think I will have to check my notes, and I will update at a later date. And so this was at the start of the week. So the just after I released the 4 weeks at war video. So you've got, as you can see, you've got all these soft timers going on here. This was at the start of the 4 weeks. This is after the 4 weeks. So as you can see, Dracarys have started taking some space here. So this is the shuffle that our coalition is now doing. There's a shuffle in who's getting what space. Because bear in mind, all this space here is not staying under Goons. It's going to be Brave Collective. There's going to be, you know, people moving around within here. So we'll come back to this in a week to see what's what, but I believe that's getting given up, and that's why they're taking swapping SOV over around here, because that does look very, very different from the start of the week to the end of the week. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, and I'll let you guys know. But as for coalition influences, you can see there's still a lot. PandaFam have a lot of systems under their belt. We now have a lot of close-knit systems. A bit like PandaFam, we have a lot of close-knit systems, which is actually for the first time in a very long time, we've got a lot of systems under our in a smallish area, because this is all we had before. If you look, there's not actually that much space there. Not many systems to cram a huge coalition like the Imperium in. So it's good that we've spread out. And the reason we've spread out now is because Equinox. Argue whatever reason you want, but Equinox, you can ask any strategic alliance member like Coord or anything like that, and they will all the finance teams, all the the logistics guys that do all the infrastructure. Equinox encourages you to spread out instead of building tall. We built tall in Delve. That's why we had everyone crammed into those three regions. But Equinox actively encourages spreading out. Through the upgrades, the power system, the power, the workforce, and all that sort of stuff. It encourages you to spread out nowadays, which not a great thing for the game realistically, but there's Winterco, PandaFam, Imperium, and the Initiative, and then you've got Phoenix Coalition up here, who also are settling in down here with that's Synergy. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but I don't know. They might be doing it for fights. I don't know, but want to keep an eye on that. So that is the solve maps. That is the alliance changes, the SOV changes that have happened. So in 7 days, we've gained 212 systems. A lot of that is going to be getting trimmed off to like Brave and Lorne and TNT and all those other alliances and Sons of Bane that are moving out of this area are going to be obviously getting this all these divided up to them, and some of our stuff that we've already got, because at the minute we hold, this is going to be a horrible number, I already know it. We already hold how many systems? 600 systems. That's 200 more than any other alliance in the game. But bear in mind, you have to remember, this number is going to drastically drop off once we hand out space to Lorne, Brave, Sons of Bane, IGC, all those groups that are moving, all these new systems are going to get that divided up. So bear with the alliance on that. That will come back next week, and that would have dropped quite a bit. You watch. So let's go to some structure kills. So Innsmother, there's been a Fortizar that was killed. a Horde forces are, because they're not fighting for them anymore, they're just letting everything burn. Goons are going in with torpedo bombers because they're not really being contested, so it is just a structure bash, just burn through structures, and that's what that one is. Again, another one, this one is Great Wildlands. This one was actually a Ferox fleet and a Vulture fleet. I think it might have been just Feroxes actually, now look at it. Feroxes with boosts, yeah. So Great Wildlands, again, another fortress are destroyed. They're not, these aren't big points. These are just, I'm just, you know, handing out some receipts of kills that have happened over this week. We're going to come back to that one, but we'll come back to that one in a minute. So I don't know what went on here. It looks like it was on a station, so an asset safety station. It looks like the guy pulled it out of asset safety, and then everyone managed to. These guys must have been lurking around as they'd seen him, got him tackled, because once you undock some asset safety, you can't dock again in a super. So yeah, if he got bubbled on the undock, that was lights out basically. So a Goonswarm held down in Utopia in Curse. He might have been logged off there from God knows how long, and I don't know. But yeah, I really don't know what the story is behind that one, but a Goonswarm held down. We've got an ex-Goonswarm member who was logged off in 4K TAC in Delve. I think the last time he was in Goons was 2018, 2019. 2019 he was in the last time he was in Goons. So he hasn't logged in for 6 years nearly. 6 years he hasn't logged in. He logs in and is hell. Obviously, he's Nix. Obviously, he's not in the Goons anymore. Inactivity purges, which Horde have actually done, which is great to see that, you know, alliances are keeping, trimming off the fat. Inactive, no longer playing, sort of quit the game kind of people. They've just booted them, which, you know, it's good to do that. It's good to keep your numbers realistic on who's active. I think a lot of alliances should do that more often, maybe a quarterly trimming off of the fact that, you know, there are people long-term AFK, no longer playing, haven't logged in for a few months without giving a reason or saying, look, I'm going to be back, I'm just taking a couple months out, and yeah, or quit the game. I think to keep the numbers realistic, then I think that should be widely encouraged more often. So good on Horde for doing that. So let's move on from that one. So that's his super. So I was looking at some kills, some structure kills. This is today. So the Northern Coalition stuff is dying. Cobalt Edge. Okay, I didn't know that was people were hitting that, but that's obviously every so often that happens. Quite Dracaris, Imperium infrastructure still dying off there. Lorne, Imperium structure still dying here. Mohist Alliance, Innsmother, some Astra houses that have been, you know, anchored for deployments or safe places for temporary safe places. There hasn't really been anything huge. They got that one from the weekend, which was Saturday. Keepstar. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff being destroyed in cache. Let's have a look in cache losses. So there's been many fleets going out. What the hell is that? Oh, pos guns. Poses are being cleared out. Structures are being cleared out. So you've got many structures from these guys, all rigged. Ratarus and Athenors and stuff like that. You know, just stuff that, you know, hasn't been picked up, has just been left abandoned. Basically, all of our cache is now getting cleared out. As I believe, because we took Innsmother so quickly, I think there's now a rush to clear cache out, just so we've got the option of jumping over to here because it's within range, jumping from our stager to here, having an Ansiblex where we can either go to Outer Passage, go and harass the very back space of Horde, well, Pandafam, not Horde in particular, Pandafam. We can go into the Spire. It's actually a really good jump-off region, cache. So to have Antiblexes, so from down here up there, or down here into the Spire, down here into Great Wildlands, it's actually a really good region to jump off and, you know, get into these back lines of Horde and really cause some damage. So I'm hoping that they fight for this a bit more, but it doesn't look like they are. Just the odd Ferox fleet that seems to be going on there. Also going to do a shout out for Operation Saving Private Arcadius Sol. So I was on the fleet and we got stuck. We went to do a couple bashes. We reinforced an Athanor. Then we started hitting a Fortizar. Got wind that the Horde were coming. Saw Sino as we were hitting an Astra House. Saw Sino, and I think we had a 200 man Vulture fleet, which obviously Logi and all your support is in that as well. And Horde brought 500 people. A battleship comp. I think there was a Retribution fleet. There was a few other a lot of support as well. So massively upshipped us and outnumbered us. So we walked to the ESS and just kept burning away, as there's no need to fight those kind of numbers. It's just, I mean, they were shit talking. Naturally, they're going to shit talk, saying, you know, we're not going to fight with a coward, this, that, and the other. But I agree with the FC, where there's no point in sending a fleet in just to feed because they've jumped in. I don't see the reason to just feed a fleet like that. It doesn't make sense in any way. But the funny thing was there was massive shit talking, as there always is in local. I tend not to get involved, to be honest. I just leave it, let it happen. But as soon as our pings went out for Raven Navy issues, and then because their caps aren't far away, pre-pinging, or not pre-pinging, sorry, pinged for dreads and supers as well, just in case of an escalation to get everyone to get their ults logged in. Instantly, they went quiet and they left the system. They just dipped out. So the Raven Navy issue fleet would have not quite made the numbers even, but we would have still been outnumbered by 450, 750, 300. We still would have been outnumbered by 300 people, but leveling the numbers, we would have took that fight. But they decided no. Mainly because they probably didn't want to get mulched by dreads, which I understand. After they started running, I then realised that they probably weren't in the position to escalate with dreads either. So that's why they pulled the battleship fleet out, which again brings me back to the point. What's the point in engaging a battleship fleet onto another battleship fleet if you know the enemies have dreads formed and ready to go? There's no point in feeding the fleet. So I understand why they did that. But it was funny that the shit talking, how quickly the shit talking stopped as soon as those pings went out and then they left. It was funny. But, you know, I'm not holding it against them. If I was their FC, I'd have probably done the same thing. There was also an Imperium Titan killed in Providence. I don't know why he was there. I don't know what he was doing there. He must have, by the looks of it, he might have been solo dropping on dreadnoughts, running crab beacons. I have no idea. He was in a safe spot, it looks like. So he might have tried to safe log. But yeah, I don't know what happened there. Again, it might just be someone that's out there trying to kill dreadnoughts, running beacons or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd show it because it's an Imperium Titan dying, so why not? Now, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this Keepstar. This is 1DQ Keepstar. First of all, shout out to Frankie for doing this. It's given me the footage of this. Excuse me. It's called Mr. Monopoly on YouTube. If you haven't checked out his channel, I'm going to link it for you below. He's been doing YouTube videos. He's doing some really, really good quality cinematics. And I asked him if he could help me out with footage from the Keepstar. Because mine had from the live stream had my face plastered all over it, and it's hard to do it. But this was 1DQ Keepstar. This was the event where Goons said to the entire game, basically, if you want to come kill our Keepstar, we're giving it a Viking burial. And we took, I think it was 1,800 rifters. But if you turned up, you had to be in a rifter. There's a bit of Goon lore that I'll go into in another video about rifters. But this Keepstar was possibly one of the most iconic Keepstars in the game. It was Goonswarm's capital for a very, very long time. But it was called the Innominate Palace. And Innominate was a very well-revered member of Goonswarm. He was a member, he'd been a member of Goonswarm for a very, very long time, and he was well known, well liked in the Imperium. He was a genuinely nice guy, and he passed away from due to cancer, and he was sorely missed. And as the Keepstar was named after him, the Alliance decided that the best way to get rid of this Keepstar, instead of trying to unanchor it and run off with it, was to give it a Viking burial as a farewell to Innominate as well. So I think that was a really, really good way to send that off. Yeah, it was quite an emotional experience losing that Keepstar, because it was my home for a very long time as well. But it was good to see it sent off in a Viking burial. It died the way to honour Innominate. But yeah, it was really, really good. That Keepstar had been through hell and back with the war, World War B3, I think it was. I have put every video I made in that during that time in a playlist below, so feel free to check it out on my homepage. All the videos from the war that I did are in there as well. But as you can see, there is 3,800 people on here. Most of them were in rifters. Excuse me. I had an APOC that I was sacrificing. So after it, towards the end of it blowing up, I undocked, shot the Keepstar, and then got blown up because it was an APOC. But I didn't want to move it back. But it's not been a hugely busy week this week, unfortunately. But I suspect that there is busier times ahead. Once cache is cleared out and done, then we can start jumping into their space, sending harassment fleets out, which obviously they'll have to respond to. We can reinforce structures, we can do all sorts like that, which could then involve them bringing capitals, and it'll be interesting to see if we manage to find a way to escalate ourselves and get hidden dread bombs into their space as well, which would be really, really cool. But if you have enjoyed this video, guys, I would like to keep that like. If you did give one at the start of the video, I'd like to keep it. I'd like to think you enjoyed the information on that. If not, don't worry about it. Gonna be a bit sad, but don't worry about it. But also, guys, if you are new to the channel, I hope I've earned you to subscribe for this, as we have a video in the war update every Monday coming out. I do have another Alliance Leader video coming out later this week, and then I have another Alliance Leader from the other side of the war. I don't want to say too much, actually, but he's on the opposite team. So I did an interview with him, and he's going to... that video is going to be the week after. So we've got loads coming, guys, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.